When it comes to fine-tuning and finessing with a router, it's hard to beat what Microfence brings to the table and to your routers. So I'm here with Rich Wheeler from Microfence, and not just from Microfence, you are Microfence.
I'm afraid I'm guilty.
And I'd like a little human interest stuff. What's the backstory on Microfence and its inception and giving birth to this whole baby?
Okay, well, we're going back about 18 to 20 years. I'd been a furniture maker for about 30 years at that point. My dad retired. I went to him with an idea for a project we could do together. And it was about making a way to have an adjustable edge guide. And he, being a machinist all his life, said, well, why don't we make it with a micrometer so you can move it? We did it, and it helped us so much, then we started making the Microfence.
And I've been seeing you at these shows for a really, really, really long time. You got some miles on.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's...
Not you personally, but in traveling.
Thanks, George. I just still have my hair.
All right, so for the poor people who are unaware, tell us what Microfence is all about.
The poor people, gosh.
I don't mean poor. The people who have yet to see a Microfence, the few that they are. Okay. Tell us what a Microfence brings to their woodworking.
Well, actually, if you can get a camera over a little closer, I can show you with my finger what I'm talking about.
That's for you, Dave.
Yeah, come on over, Dave, and join us.
So we're going to go to this one that's attached to the router.
Correct. Now this edge guide, which is a guide that rides along an edge to guide you parallel.
That's a great name then for it.
It is not bad, is it? Side fence is another term, or Microfence is a third one. It brings measurement, machine tool measurement, to the adjustment process. So in a setup, you have a way to measure to get to a desired result.
So it's, I got a little bit of machine shop background, so we're looking at a scale here, and as I turn this, it's going to provide a lateral adjustment, but not just move it, it allows me to measure the amount of movement.
Correct. The marks on it each represent 1/1000th of an inch, and there's 50 totally on the circumference of the dial. So every time you turn around in either direction, you're moving 50 thousandths. And what that means is simply with a small chart, if I may show you this, that will give you metrics, decimals, and fractions. You can easily translate any dimension onto this dial and make your adjustments.
So one of the scenarios is we have a lot of inlay laying here, and I think that's because you run into a scenario where you want to drop inlay into a piece, and you're going to do that in 2 passes, right? You're going to make an undersized pass, and the question is then how much do I move my edge guide in order to make a second pass?
Include. Clearance is another thing you can measure, and in wood, of course, that becomes an issue with movement, expansion, and contraction. So, yeah, you voiced it perfectly. That's well said.
So the benefit to this product is eliminate some guesswork because I can measure so finely.
That, and if you're making jigs that will be used in a repetitive manner, they have to be precise in the first place. They're great tools for constructing jigs. Okay,
that's cool. Now, I don't think this router came with this base.
No, it didn't, actually. This is the Bosch PR20 motor, which has a 1 horsepower rating and variable speed. And I wanted a way to do detail work in my shop with the same Microfence measurement that we have, but to make a plunge base that was smaller. Because when this first came out, in I think 5 years ago, there were about 35 routers on the American market alone. And every single one of them was 2 to 3 horsepower. So rather than pick up 12 or 15 pounds, I thought, God, it'd be nice to have a smaller machine using, say, a laminate trimmer motor so that you could make measurements in your setup. And this is the result.
And we're bringing in the same finesse capabilities here that we have here to allow us to very carefully control the depth of plunge.
That's right. Or to make adjustments to it once you've done it. As there's nothing that can really surpass the evidence that's left by the cut itself.
By a misplaced cut especially.
Well, yeah, right. Or how far are we going to go over to correct it? Yeah, right.
Well, this is good, Rich. Anything else that we should grab onto and talk about while we're standing right here?
Well, there's a lot in the system now, and there's a lot more coming, actually. We have some new products coming out in the fall, which we'll tell you about later. But there are many different setups that are available. They're all on our website. I don't know.
Go ahead and give the folks at home the website. This is your chance, commercial opportunity.
Microfence at microfence.com. That's our email. Our website is microfence.com.
And you can see the full array they can buy direct from you.
Correct.
As well as some retail stores?
There are a few. Largely it's direct marketing now.
Okay.
about the only thing we can afford to do.
All right. So you can go directly to the Microfence website. You can see all the stuff that pertains to the Microfence setup, all the different accessories that Rich was talking about. Having fun at the show so far?
It's been a lot of fun meeting a lot of the people here and showing what we have, watching the reactions.
All right. Well, thanks for taking the time.
Thank you, George.
You bet.